Beautiful day to wake up a Raider. Wake up draped in silver and black. Raiders! Oh yeah. Bring the fire. Oh yeah. I'm a Raider. She's a Raider. He's a Raider. Wouldn't you like to be a Raider too? I love being a Raider. An Oakland Raider. A Las Vegas Raider. An LA Raider. A freaking Mars Raider. A Tomb Raider. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because it's a Raider Nation. That's why. It don't matter the zip code. It don't matter where it's at. As long as you're rocking the shield and you got the swords, baby, and it's silver and black, we there. We there. What's up, Raider Nation? I'm the Commish, coming to you live from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios, deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction. What's up, Alex? Man, I tell you what, for a Tuesday on after draft weekend, there is more Raider juice in the news than there really should be at this time of the year. But that's a beautiful thing for somebody like me who's got an hour to spend with you talking about the silver and black. What we all love, what we all want to talk about. Man, it's been a long day. We've been at work. You're home. You need a cold beverage. What's up, Joseph? And you just want to talk some football. So do I. I've been waiting all night for somebody to listen to me. Because my wife's 9.5 months pregnant, and she sure ain't listening to me. Because, you know, if you've been there, you know what I'm saying. All right. So like every single weeknight, Oakland Raiders football goes coast to coast. We start out with an hour on the East Coast with Raider Reaction and the Commish. Then I throw it deep to the West Coast, to the infamous Raider Bear for a whole nother solid hour. That's 2 solid hours every weeknight of Raider flavor and insight. What more could you want? What more could you want? So let's get this thing started for tonight. I'm the Commish. Thanks for joining me. If you've never seen me before, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you come back. Raider Nation, let's get rolling. So, biggest news, I think some of the biggest news in Raider Nation that went down, besides the draft, besides everything else, the biggest thing I think that's went down is the signing of the $77.5 million estate that they're going to build the palace in the desert on. The paperwork has been signed, locked in escrow. It's a done deal. We've got some dirt. They did the geotechnical testing already on the site. It's stable to build. Now they got the paper that says it's theirs. Things are moving quickly. To think it was just over a month ago when the vote came in for relocation, and now we're already talking about paper signed for dirt. You know, thank you for sharing. Please share it up. Share it up. Grow the audience. We need to flood the nation with silver and black every night. Flood the nation. That's what we need to do. Spread the word. Spread the word. I mean, this is a big deal. Originally, for the parcel of land, they were asking $100 million. They wanted $100 million because that figured that would drive anybody looking for a $50 million deal out. They're not even going to apply for it because that's over double the amount of money they would be wanting to spend for a piece of dirt like that. So, to meet in the middle, basically at 77.5, is a win for both. You know, the Raiders get by with $23 million less, basically, than they would have had to spend otherwise. And the other half of the party they make more than the $50 million that they wanted to guarantee themselves they would get by asking for the $100 million. So they come out $27.5 million happy as well. So it was a very good middle ground for them to be meeting on. The site's proximity to Interstate 15 should keep the fans moving in and out. And mine too, Alonzo. Here every night. Give you everything I know that's come up to date. Keep the news fresh. The newest Raider Nation news that I can get my hands on. I'll bring it to you every night. So, I mean, this is big news. They've got dirt. They've got dirt. The stadium's going to be a reality. I mean, that's big news that they finally put it to bed. That was put to bed very quickly. If you think about the complexities and the monies involved in a deal like this, to consider it was just in March, the end of March, when the relocation was voted in, and here we are, the 2nd of May, and there's ink to paper. I mean, I work in this kind of industry, so to see something like that happen in that amount of time, I tell you, you get a lot of these big, important people, big money people in a room, you don't get things worked out usually that quickly. It just doesn't happen. It is a great location, J. Chuck. It's right down by the Strip. Can you imagine? Go out to watch a game, fly out, fly in, hang out Friday night, hang out Saturday night, go tailgating Sunday, go to the game, fly out and come home. I don't even live there, and I'm looking forward to it. Well, that sounds like an amazing weekend. You to go to go hang out, have a good time, end my weekend with a Raider game, a Raider W, fly home in my crappy plane seat, all happy as hell from a W. I mean, that sounds like a great weekend. Now, if you're from Oakland, I completely understand and feel your pain, because I couldn't imagine if I lived down the street from them and they got uprooted. So I completely feel your pain, but man, you shouldn't have had them playing on dirt for so long. You know? You had your chance. They had to get up off the dirt, and this is what happens. It's what happens. That's what I'm saying. I agree, guys. I'm stoked about it. I mean, I'm going to go see some games in the Coliseum on the way out, and I hope to see him win a championship or two in the Coliseum. I wish there could have been a new stadium in Oakland, but something had to give somewhere. And it just been too many years in the works, and it's done, man. There's ink to paper now. There's ink to paper. Yes. If you like the show, if you're watching the show, hit the share button. Man, it's right next to that thumb button. You can hit the thumb button, too. I like seeing them blue thumbs fly across there. But, you're sitting there watching. Use the thumb. Send it on. What's up, Dorothy? All right. Another big news. If you was watching NFL Network last night, well, hopefully you were watching Myself and the Bear in your handheld device while you're watching NFL Network. You seen Kalicio Simile on the top 100, the NFL Network's top 100. They released their 100 to 81 last night. And Simile hit number 95. I mean, he's a former second-round pick. We signed him in free agency after 4 seasons with the Ravens. And he comes to the Raiders. He makes the Pro Bowl. He's a first-team All-Pro. And to see Silver and Black already, and to see one of our linemen, one of the big guys that protects DC, the most important guy on our team, the captain, man. Without DC, we need him under center. And this guy is a beast. And it's just awesome to see the Silver and Black. And we're going to be sprinkled all the way through this list. I mean, come on, you got Amari Cooper, you got Crabtree, you got the Defensive Player of the Year. Derek Carr was in the running for MVP. Oh, man, there's any number of those guys. Those guys should all be on the rest of the top 100, and maybe even 1 or 2 more. Why not Donald Penn? Penn had a phenomenal year. Oh, Derek Carr should get at least top 10, Frank. If he doesn't get top 10, somebody is way off base, man. Because he's in the running for MVP until he goes down. Which is, okay, the guy's in the running for MVP before he goes down in the half, basically at the half of the second to last game. He's on every channel. Every MVP chart you see has Derek Carr's freaking name on it. Every one of them. Now, he goes down a game and a half from the end of the season. Now, mind you, this is only a regular season award. It's only a regular season award. So he goes down a game and a half from the regular season. Coming into that game, he's on every chart, on the pregame, in the MVP race on every one. He gets hurt. The next week, you don't hear a freaking word about him. He's gone. He vanished. How is that possible? How's that possible? Tom Brady missed the first 4 games of the season. And as soon as he comes back in week 5, he's in the MVP race. As soon as he put his cleats on. Now, how does DC fall completely off the charts? Not even get any votes? Nothing. That's some BS, man. That's some BS. Because listen to this. Listen to this right here. Because stats don't lie. Stats don't lie. So listen to this. Dan Marino, through 4 seasons, threw 142 touchdowns. It's the record for touchdowns in 4 seasons. Peyton Manning threw 111. He's number 2. Andrew Luck threw 101. He's number 3. Derek Carr, through 3 seasons, already has 81. 81. So that means if he throws 30 touchdowns, he's better than Peyton Manning through his first 4 years. And the only guy better than him in the entire history of the NFL would be Dan Marino. And he is more than capable of throwing 30 touchdowns. Do you realize Derek Carr threw for 3,937 yards last season? 3,937 yards. And he gets knocked out with a game and a half left. He was going to play the Donkeys and absolutely smoke them in the final week of the season if he didn't get hurt. So he's over a 4,000-yard passer. The year before, 3,987. He comes up 13 yards short of being a 4,000-yard passer. I am putting it on the line. Derek Carr wins the MVP this season. Sup, Raider Red Taz? This season, DC will win the MVP, and he is going to lead the Raiders to the promised land. Again, it's been a while, but we're going back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Better believe it. I have full faith in that kid, man. I tell you, there's just something about that kid. Believe me, Frank agrees. Frank agrees. Dig up some dirt on Derek Carr. Go ahead. Google it up. Find me the worst thing you could find me about Derek Carr. Go ahead, I'll wait. Copy the link, man. We'll all read it. You're not going to find anything. You can't even Google anything and find this guy. He's clean as can be. He lives the right way. He treats people right. He's just a genuine, decent, good kid, man. How can you not get behind a guy like that who's leading our team? To have some of the guys that other teams have in the league, and then to have a guy like that who's the rock of our freaking franchise, that's amazing. That's amazing. Amazing. And, man, I got all the faith in that kid. I'm telling you. MVP. This year, he's going to come out firing in Tennessee. And then you get the Jets at home? Come on, man. Come on. That's a straight mobbing right out of the gate. Everybody's going to be talking about Derek Carr, MVP, 2 weeks in. Betcha. And then he's got to go play against Kirk Cousins. They'll be lucky Cousins is even there. They're trying to trade him to pretty much anybody that'll take him. They'll trade him for some string and some cheese if that would get him off that franchise tag. Betcha. Daniel Snyder will get rid of that dude in a second. He's a decent quarterback, but for some reason, they don't like that guy there. And I don't know what the deal is. But we're going to be heading out there 2-0. He's going to stomp them, the Skins, and we're going into Donkeyville at 3-0. And that's your pivot game right there at the beginning of the season. 3-0, going to Donkeyland. And that's going to tell you how your season is going to go right there. And how's it going to go? Hey, I'm on the record for saying we're going with 1 loss to the bye. And we have finished 13-3. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. 1 loss into the bye, we finished 13-3. That's my prediction. I think we drop 1 in the home stretch. I think there's just going to be one of them clunker games. Everybody has it. And then, we'll lose a squeaker or 2 down the stretch. And we'll go strong into the playoffs. Derek Carr will get his MVP award. And we're going to go claim what's rightfully ours. Again, for the 4th time, Raider Nation. Raise that Lombardi trophy. 1 more time. Can't wait. Can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. This is going to happen. So, I bet it hurt, man. I bet it hurt. I completely understand that it hurt, Alonzo. I completely understand. Like I said, I can't even fathom that and imagine what it'd be like to lose my team that I grew up with down the street. I didn't grow up with them down the street. I have always had love from afar. I've had to travel like crazy amounts of distances over and over and over again. I've traveled all over the country. It is my goal, one of my goals in life before they plant me, is to watch the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, LA Raiders, Mars Raiders, whatever they are. I will watch them play in every single stadium in the NFL. I've checked off a bunch. I have to go check off more because some of the stadiums I've actually seen them in don't exist anymore. And the team's got new stadiums, so I gotta go back there. And that is my goal. I want to watch the Raiders whoop every team in the league in their house. That's what I want to watch. And I want to do it with my son. Because that would be awesome. He's started coming to the games with me so far. We've checked off Jacksonville. We've checked off Tampa Bay. He's been to Oakland. And he's got to catch up. Because I've got a lot more than that. So, but he's 10. So, cut him some slack. He'll catch up. He's way ahead of me at 10. I don't have that many. I grew up in the middle of a cornfield. So there was nothing like that at all. Thank goodness I don't live there no more. Sup, Joseph? Alright, so, other big news today. It's not really Raider news, but anything that happens in the NFL is really Raider news because everything affects us. And this affects us because it's straight up going to a rival. So, I had all of this set up. I was going to break down, all of the free agents that are left, all the big top free agents, because I was combing over all that, early this morning, seeing who was all out there, because it's something I wanted to touch on. And lo and behold, the guy I had as number 1, Frank beat me to it, Jamal Charles. The one is I had number 1 on my list of available free agents gets signed to the Donkeys. Now, this dude's held together by bubblegum and tape. So, I'm not really that worried about him, honestly. I don't think he's a big threat. Seriously. He's held together by bubblegum and tape. That little video of him running on the turf there around the little hurdles, that was cute and all. Till you get about 350-pound defensive lineman, trying to take you down around the lower body, and them papier-mâché knees. Hey, they ain't gonna hold up, man. What's up, Rick from Maryland? He is washed up, Frankie. But you know what? What's he gonna do? He's a young dude. He thinks he's young. So he's gonna work hard, and he's gonna try to come back, and what else is he gonna do? If he figures he can hold himself together with bubblegum and tape for a minute to get that one last check. Because he got the last check. Hey man, inks to paper. He's getting paid whether he walks out there, takes one step and gets cracked and carted. He's still getting paid. So now, all that work he put in, it was worth it. It was worth it. So, he's the top guy he was obviously the top guy off the board. Second guy you still got out there on the free agent market is Blunt. But Will, man, you guys are like psychic. You're beating me to it. Will calls it out. Blunt, he's the second guy. And I'm glad, I agree. I'm glad to see they didn't get Blunt. Because Blunt's not the type of guy I want to really have to see us going against twice a year. He's a banger. I wouldn't have been mad if the Raiders picked up Blunt. I went on the record as saying that. I wouldn't have been mad at all. Blunt's solid. You give that dude, man, you give that dude the ball down by the goal line or short yardage, he runs nasty. He's a Marshawn type runner. So I didn't have a problem with Blunt either, and I'm glad. I agree, guys. I am glad he's not in our division. Very glad. Now, the number 3 and number 4 that I had on my free agent list, the guys that are still out there, are two guys. They're talented guys. We all know them. They're both kind of schmucks in their own way, but they're talented guys. You got Jay Cutler. All right, the Bears would rather go sign Napoleon Dynamite and then jump up and throw away draft picks to get Trubisky than even shake a stick at this guy again. They're done with him. Him and his exercise bike in the playoffs and the no heart and, So, but he's still out there. Do you think anybody signs that guy? And then you got Kaepernick. J-Chuck beat me to it again. Kaepernick. Here's the other one. Both these guys. Kaepernick is minutes away from a Super Bowl win not that long ago. And now, nobody will even give him a phone call? He's got the plague. I understand. Maybe moral of the story is, you shouldn't take a political stand when you're the backup quarterback. Backup quarterbacks can't take political stands. Now, if you're out there and your team's 12-2 and you're lighting it up and your name's in the paper, yeah, maybe you can take a political stand. But you can't take a political stand when you're backing some dude up. The backup quarterback's back there kneeling. What's he doing? Is he hurt? He's taking a stand. Hey, good for him. He was trying to make a difference, but nobody wants that. I agree. Nobody wants the drama out of a backup quarterback. Nobody wants to have to answer to the guy that, they just don't. And he's kind of the kitschy quarterback, man. Because there was a little time there where the running quarterback was all vogue. It still kind of is, but I think he kind of was a little ahead of the curve there. They've kind of figured that out a little. And I just don't think he's going to be as successful as he used to be. He's not as young as he used to be. And I don't think anybody wants to, I agree, nobody wants the trouble or the drama at all. Now, the next 3 free agents that I see that are still out there are corners. Now, I think we addressed our corner situation well. Through the draft. I I think we all agree with that, which I'm going to get to that in a minute. I mean, I've broke down the draft for several days, so just so you guys know, let me break down what I'm going to give to you, because I'm here every week, all week, every night. You got me for an hour, then you got Raider Bear for an hour. So, coast to coast, every night, right here, 2 solid hours. So, what I'm going to do the rest of the show, after I get through a few more of these little juicy tidbits I want to share with you, is I'm going to really get deep into the rest of our draft. And then I really want to get deep into the guys that we signed that were the undrafted free agents. Because I've got into it, the draft, over the past few days. And then me and Prime broke it down last night with him. So I want to give you my final breakdown. The commish have had days to look at it, go over it, dig into all the details of all the guys. And I want to give you one really good breakdown. And then tomorrow, we're going to dig into every single position on the offensive side of the ball. Every position, everybody that was signed, who we have on roster, everything on the offensive side of the ball. So that we can all just sit back and be like, look at that, man. Because our offense is so tight, man. That's just going to be fun. I'm going to be drooling just talking about it, and you guys are going to be drooling just sitting there thinking about it. Like, man, is it August yet? Oh, is it August yet? Come on, man. I want some Raider football so bad. Oh, I'm jonesing for some Raider football. So bad. So, and then on Thursday, we're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be defense. Now, we picked up a lot of guys on the defense, so I want to really dig into some defense with you guys. So, bring your thinking caps. We're going to bounce through the offense tomorrow, all the way to the nuts and bolts. Everybody that we've got, defense on Thursday. And then, of course, what other hot, little nuggets pop up during the day, because, somebody's going to be a knucklehead or somebody's going to do something. Well, hopefully there's some good news, but this time of the year, it seems it's usually being somebody being a knucklehead. So hopefully nobody's being a knucklehead, but you never know. Now, number 8 on my list, well, actually, the 3 corners that I was going to touch on. Jason McCourty, Brandon Flowers, and Tremaine Brock. All 3 of those guys are still free agents. They're all solid. They're both really number 2s or 3s, but they could be serviceable. And then the interesting one is number 8, Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden. He's old, man, but Anquan Bolden's gritty. That dude will still go over the middle. And he'll go up and get a ball. He's an interesting one to see out there. I see us re-signing Perry Riley Jr. as well, Joseph. I 100% agree. And I think that's honestly the reason that we went and took the late round linebacker, is because I really think they're going to sign Perry Riley very soon. I see that happening soon. Tim agrees with me. Jay Chuck. So I honestly think I think that was the strategy of why they took him later. And didn't go after the linebacker like we all wanted. I mean, the draft party I was at, man, that was a linebacker positive party to Florida Raider Nation. They wanted to see a linebacker taken. There was a few of them getting upset. I think the chairman was getting a little upset too. He wanted to see a linebacker taken, and they were happy when it finally happened. But it was very late in the draft. But we still grabbed one. So I'm glad to see that we did grab a young back. Linebacker. So, speaking of the draft. Mel Kiper Jr. We all know who Mel Kiper Jr. is. He's got a job for like 2 months out of the year doing his mock drafts and what have you with his helmet hair. I don't know why, but that guy just absolutely bugs me. He always has. There's just a couple, there's certain ones that just absolutely bug you, these talking heads, and I don't know why. Mel Kiper just has always bugged me to death. And so it just really chapped me that he gave us a C. Gave us a C on a draft grade. Because he says he has to write off, basically, the Garyon Conley pick. He says it's obviously a really difficult class to be assessing, given all that was swirling around, Garyon Conley going into the draft, and without much time to gather information. I really just need to remove him from the equation here. On ability, he's a top 15 player, and the Raiders obviously feel comfortable with what they know of his off-field situation, but that situation really transcends a discussion of player value. I do think the Raiders could have taken a few other players in that spot and felt good about it. Well, Mel Kiper, I completely disagree. And I think you're a schmuck, too. So, I mean, I'll go on record as saying that. And I hate your hair. So, who cares? Who cares what you think if you give us a C? I don't give us a C. I give us an A-. I'm not going to give us an A+. I'm not going to be a homer about it. But I give us an A-. I don't think Mel Kiper watches the Raiders like we watch the Raiders. I mean, come on. I knew we needed cornerbacks. Everybody in the Raider Nation knew we needed D-backs. And so the fact we go grab two, and the one guy, I mean, let's get right into these guys. Let's get right into it because, I mean, that's where we're headed. That's where this train's going anyway. Let's get into the draft action. You got Garyon Conley. He's been in the news like crazy. I mean, really? I mean, I want to be excited about the pick. He's a talented kid, but the fact of the matter is, it just stinks that, you know, everybody's like, oh, you got the, you know, God dang it. I mean, come on. That's just a bummer. You want to be excited about the number 1 pick. Well, I ain't running out and buying his jersey just yet because, you know what? It ain't locked in yet, so no, not just yet. I mean, he's not locked in just yet. Now, I tell you what, there are so many holes in this story, it's like Swiss cheese at this point. But what they're saying is it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks before the DNA resolution is expected. So we've got all that time that this is going to sit around and simmer, basically. And then I don't know if that's even going to prove anything. Because, all right, I'll try to keep this as, you know, but I'm sure we all heard the news. You know, his attorney comes out and says, you know, oh, well, he didn't really have consensual sex with him. He had consensual sex acts. So I'm like, okay. And supposedly there's people in the room, and, I mean, you see, supposedly, okay, the story is, supposedly, she says she never met him until she's in the elevator with him. But there's a video of her following him all around the club, trying to reach out and touch him and nonsense several times. So that totally contradicts that story. And how do you, I mean, these are grown adults here, okay? I mean, I know they're young adults, but they're still grown adults. What are you doing with just some random dude you don't know that you just ran into at the club in the motel room in the middle of the night anyway? You just kicking it, you know, Bible study, hanging out. Come on. There's just, and this just happens right before the draft. I mean, she looked like she was stalking him all around the video. Did you guys watch the video? I mean, did you watch the video? She tried to reach out and touch him at one point. How are you going to say you never met him till he's in the elevator with him? That right there just makes me put the brakes on. Hold on. Something wrong here. Something don't smell right. Something don't smell right. So, Tim, I hope we're building a 70 secondary. But, I mean, Garyon Conley, the kid's a stud. Okay? The kid's a stud. Now, here, I don't know if all of you have heard this, haven't heard it. It's only going to take a second. But I'm going to read Garyon Conley's statement. This is his official statement. The allegations against me concerning the night of April 8th through 9th that have been recently reported in multimedia outlets are completely false. I did not commit a crime and have not been charged with a crime. I pride myself on doing things the right way on and off the field. The things being said about me and what happened that night are not true and don't fit my character at all. I realize that I put myself in the situation and could have used better judgment. However, I have worked tirelessly to put myself in position to have the honor of being an NFL draft pick, and these untrue allegations are putting a huge cloud over my name and the NFL draft. These allegations appear to be an attempt to ruin this once-in-a-lifetime experience for me and my family. There are several witnesses, including another female, who were present the entire time and have given statements that give an accurate account of what took place. We also have video evidence that further discredit and disprove other versions of these events. I am upset but realize I am powerless when false accusations are made and people try to convict you in the court of public opinion. It's sad that your name can get dragged through the mud based upon untrue and malicious allegations alone. I am completely confident that as the facts actually come out, my name will be cleared. I was excited about participating in Thursday's draft, but I have decided that it would be selfish for me to stay and be a distraction to the NFL, the other players and their families who have worked just as hard as me to enjoy the experience, so I will not be in attendance. I hope and look forward to the honor of being an NFL player and working to be the best representative, player, person, and teammate that I can be for the team and the community I will be in. Gary Conley. Word for word. That's what he had to say about it. Tell you what, until the charge is filed, I'm done talking about it. Until the DNA test comes back and says something and really gives juice, I'm going to let that one ride, and I'm just going to talk about the player we signed. Gary Conley, cornerback from Ohio State. He's a Raider. Till somebody puts some handcuffs on him, I'm done talking about it. It's been a couple days, and I'm going to put that one to rest. Now, moving on. Like my man said earlier, 70s secondary. That's what I'm talking about. So we go out. We get Obi-Wan Melifanu. Safety. This kid is a freak. A physical freak. I mean, this dude's 6'4", 218 pounds. Ran a 4.40, 44-inch vertical jump, 141-inch broad jump. This dude is crazy good. And he's big enough, little bit of meat on him. Dude, he can be a guy that covers outside linebackers. Or he can be a covering outside linebacker. Obi does want 20. I heard that today as well, J. Chuck. He wants number 20. He wants his college number. I mean, Obi's a beast. And he came out and said he's faster than most tight ends in the league. He'll have no trouble covering him. He sounds like a very confident kid. The kid's got a wingspan, man. I am telling you. The kid's got a wingspan. And I really think that they want him as a hybrid corner. That he's not really going to play safety. Now, we've got Carl Joseph, who's a stud back there. And then we've got the Predator, Reggie Nelson, man. I'm a big Reggie Nelson fan, but Reggie Nelson is 34. So, we need a young safety back there, too. So, to have him back there, you know, he can rotate in and out of safety, and he can play some corner. He can spell Smith, and he can spell Emerson. And then we got Conley. What's up, Kaylee? Thank you for joining me, Kaylee. That is my daughter's name. That is an awesome name. Spelled differently, but still an awesome name. Hers is Kailee. And she's 13. And oh my. Do you have a 13-year-old daughter? Oh my. Do you know what it's like to have a 13-year-old daughter? Oh yeah. Boy, I can fill out the rest of the show on that. We better get off that subject. Good Lord. All right. So that's our number 2. That's our number 2. Then number 3. I knew we were going to stay with defense, man. I knew we were going to stay with defense. You're 22. Well, thank you for joining, Kaylee. Hopefully you come back. I'm here every single weeknight, same time. Raider Nation. J-Chuck does have a good point. J-Chuck always has good points. J-Chuck's like having... He's like having my own resource service right there. I can just throw out a question, man. J-Chuck will spit me back an answer. It's great. So, then we go and grab defensive tackle. Eddie Vanderdoes from UCLA. West Coast guy. West Coast guy. Big pickup for us, man. This guy is a big dude. 6'3", 325-pounder. Big dude. Big dude, and he's fast. Run a 4.9940. For a guy that big, that's amazing. Big guy, fast and strong. Great pickup. First 3 pickups, man, I am stoked about. So forget what Helmet Head said. Those addressed our biggest, 3 of our biggest needs. Those were some of our biggest needs. If you go in and put up a draft board and say, what are we drafting for? Those would have been the biggest needs. Those would have been the biggest needs. So Kaylee, so far, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with the draft so far, through 3. And then in 4, we go get another mountain of a dude, David Sharp. Now, trying to clear up this rumor, David Sharp is not blind in one eye. He has astigmatism. It's corrective. Now he's getting paid. He's got some decent insurance. He can go get that fixed. I mean, come on, he's probably living in the dorm. Dude was probably broke ass. Now he's going to have some insurance and getting paid, and he's going to get his eye fixed. Right, he ain't blind, Tim, so I'm trying to stop the rumors. It's astigmatism. He can get fixed. Absolutely. But this dude is a mountain of a dude. Huge guy. And, 6'6", 357 pounds. Big offensive lineman. Huge offensive lineman. That's big right there. So we grab defense with the first 3 picks. That is awesome, Kaylee. That is awesome. And then we go get another offensive lineman to keep the car insurance going. Keep the car insurance going. Because nobody needs to put their hands on DC4. Nobody better put their hands on DC4 this year because he's carrying this. I said it. He's going to win the MVP. And he's going to take us to the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody knows it. They're just scared. That's why they don't want to talk about it. I mean, they're scared. That's basically why they don't want to talk about it. Now, in the 5th round, finally, and the Florida Raider Nation, who I was with on Saturday, they were thrilled to death. We take a linebacker. Marquel Lee out of Wake Forest. Now, this kid is a real cerebral playmaker, man. He's very, very smart. Very smart. I agree, Daniel. I agree. He's a very smart player. So, I like him at linebacker. And, it's an okay pickup. I still say we're going to sign Perry Riley Jr. back. And this kid's just going to fill in. He'll be a practice squad guy for a while. They'll bring him around. But, hey, to grab a good young linebacker project, there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. And then we make the trade with Arizona. And we end up with some extra late-round picks. We get Shalom from Washington State. Shawam Luani. He's a beast. Beast mode will not be a bust, Chris. He's got tread on the tires for 2 solid years. You watch. He's hungry this season. He's hungry. He wants to prove something. Jalen Ware. Another big offensive tackle. Absolutely. I agree, J-Chuck. From Alabama State. Another big guy. 6'8", 295 pounds. Big guy. Then you got Elijah Wood, who's an interesting sign. Now, there was talk of Elijah Wood. He's the running back from North Carolina. There was talk of Elijah Wood possibly going up in weight and trying out at fullback. But he's saying he's being told by the Raiders that they want him to slim down a little bit and compete at running back. Which is interesting because they have 3 solid running backs on roster. So, Elijah Hood, does he really fit in the mix? Because I don't see him bouncing Washington or Richard. And you know Beast Mode ain't going nowhere. So something's got to give there. So that guy may end up on the practice squad. And, you know, we'll have to see how Mr. Hood shakes out through the preseason. But he's one to keep an eye on. And then the last guy we grabbed was Trayvon Hester, another defensive tackle out of Toledo. And he seems like, you know, he's a 7th round guy. He's one of our I know who Elijah Wood is, J-Chuck. I didn't say Elijah Wood. I said Elijah Hood. I know who Elijah Wood is. My son is hooked on those things. He watches, man, those movies are like 4 hours each. He watches them, so he's like crazy. You know, he was our Mr. Irrelevant. You know, he's one of our last picks. And then we went out and we did get some solid guys, actually, that we grabbed. Yes, I think we will make it to the Super Bowl, Kaylee, and I think we will win the Super Bowl. Absolutely. And I think we're going to have big plays. Yes, absolutely. I think we're going to have big plays on both sides of the ball this year. Both sides of the ball. I have not. Lynch has an incentive clause. He can make more money, J-Chuck, if he hits 1,000 yards. There's an incentive clause for 1,000 yards in his contract, which I like. That keeps him hungry. So he's got, if he can get 1,000 yards, he gets quite a substantial payday. So that gives him hungry. Because if he came back for some money and for some flash, you know, we'll see. But I like that clause. I like the 1,000-yard clause. You know, gives him something to work for. Now, the undrafted free agents, we grabbed another safety, Anthony Siafi from Rutgers. It wasn't in the details today? Really? That when they reported it, when the deal came out, I didn't see. Did you see the official details today? Because I did not see them. I don't know how that got by me, but I did not see them. Man, I go through everything Raider every day. So please share, J-Chuck, because that is something I did not see. So if you got a little juicy, I knew the 1-year contract basically, kind of an option for 2. Really, he gets a bonus for Super Bowl MVP. Well, I love that. Let's hope he gets it. I hope it's big too. Big beast mode size check. Because if he gets the Super Bowl MVP, man, if he gets the Super Bowl MVP for coming out of retirement, they're going to make a freaking movie about that at the end of, next year. Beast mode will be at the movie theater. You better believe it. If Marshawn Lynch comes out of retirement, rushes for over 1,000 yards, carries us through the Super Bowl, and then goes to the Super Bowl, wins the MVP, Raiders win the Super Bowl, and he'll walk off. Be like, all right, I'm done. I'm just here to win this trophy. And he just walks off. You can't write a freaking... Oh, you can't write you can write a script like that. They make a movie out of that. That's crazy. So, we did grab a safety. We grabbed another offensive lineman, Jordan Simmons, out of USC. Now, this guy was injured a lot at USC. But he is a big dude, and, you know, he's a project player. Probably see what he can do in preseason. Now, then Nicholas Morrow, we picked up, signed another linebacker, an undrafted free agent, Nicholas Morrow. And then we grabbed another wide receiver from USC, Isaac Whitney. Now, Whitney broke his collarbone in 2015, and before he had a good 2016 campaign. I mean, he's a project too. I mean, what do you expect to grab out of the scraps of what's left over? I mean, you can find some guys as undrafted free agents that are solid, but basically it's a mad scramble, and these guys are just trying to sign some paper so they can make some paper. I mean, they don't want to go home without a job, so they just want to leave with something. So, I mean, he's a project. I mean, any of these guys are a project that you pick up. Then you got another wide receiver from Arkansas, wide receiver by the name of Keon Hatcher. You know, he had caught 44 passes for the Razorbacks at 743 yards passing and 8 touchdowns last season. Chris, how well do you... I think Cordarrelle Patterson is going to be huge. He's a return guy. The dude is lightning fast, and he can play the 3. He can be our third wide receiver, guy that goes out over the middle. He can be the deep threat because he's fast, and he's big. He's big, he's fast. The guy runs nice routes, man. He's really quick. I think he's going to be big, man. And I like Seth Roberts. Galo, so I was happy we signed Seth Roberts back. Real happy. Real happy. All right. But there's one more guy we did sign. One more guy we signed. And I'm not happy about this one. Ishmael Zamora. He's the one. I don't know if you guys have seen. We talked about this last night. I'll promise I won't bring it up again. But man, this dude beats his dog with a belt, and then he has him cowering over in the corner and kicking him, and there's video of it. They turned the video in. He got suspended. Do I think better than Crab? Hold on. Who's better than Crab? Seth Roberts? No. Seth Roberts is not better than Crabtree. Is that what you're asking me? Because no way. Now Crabtree, he's quit dropping the ball as much as he did last season. Seth Roberts had a little bit of the dropsies too. Man, could you guys imagine? I mean, our wide receivers had some drops last season. If those guys would have dropped the ball. Oh, Patterson? Do I think Patterson will be better than Crabtree? Oh, no. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they will throw him out there as that third wide out sometimes in 3 wide sets, and he'll be that deep guy because he's faster than Crabtree. But Crabtree's a solid wide receiver, man. I've really gotten on the Michael Crabtree bandwagon here over the last couple seasons. I mean, hey, thanks for stopping in, Rick. Man, I am here every Monday through Friday. Sweet. Thank you, J-Chuck. See, J-Chuck's like our resource service. He's the Raider Reaction resource service. It's spectacular. But this guy, man, I have a hard time being happy about this guy even being on our team. It's really bothering me. I'm so anti-animal violence, and you know, to me, it's almost like beating a kid. I know you can't compare it to a kid because a kid's a kid, but you know, it bugs me. I'm having a hard time being happy about this one. I am happy about the whole rest of the draft. The whole rest of the draft as a whole. I'm happy with the whole rest of the draft. But this one guy that we had, why did we have to pick this guy up as an undrafted free agent? I mean, he ain't gonna make the team anyway. So why bring him in? Because that's just bad. The Raiders have had such good press for so long now. I mean, we're the team with the longest stretch of nobody being arrested. I mean, thank you, Kaylee. I mean, we're on the good train. The nation's loving the Raiders. I mean, we're getting love all over. They're talking about us. All the talking heads are talking about us. You know, then we had, the Gary Conley thing, and that's a bummer. And then we got to go sign this guy, too? I mean, that just starts and ends it bad. You know, I agree, Daniel. I mean, we're looking good. We got some good cred, you know. I don't want to cheer for that guy. I can't watch that video and cheer for that guy. I just can't. It bugs me. It bugs me. Oh, yes, I'm going to some games this year. First one I got on my charts, because my wife is 9.5 months pregnant, so we are going to have our third and a little guy. And so it's going to limit me a little this season, more than I typically am for games. I'm definitely going to the Miami game. And we'll see from there. That's the only one I can guarantee you on. But I hope there's more. But like I said, we've got a little guy now. It's going to be here in like, if you'd ask my wife, he'll be here tomorrow. But it could be a week or two. So there will be a couple nights here soon where I'll be like, I'm out for a couple days and I'm going to have a fill-in. But then I'll be right back. Because typically I don't ever go nowhere. But for those couple days, I'm going to be gone. I may even give you like a quick on location from the waiting room Raider reaction. But, man, the Raiders signing Ishmael Zamora. Just makes me go, what the hell? What the hell? It's not how I wanted it in the draft. It's not how I wanted it in the draft. But as a whole, like I said, A- for our draft. I think it's an A-, man. We got the two corners. Well, basically a corner and a safety, but like I say, I think they're going to turn him into a hybrid corner. They're going to get coached up by Rod Woodson, man. The GOAT back there at D-back. They're going to get coached up by him. Moved him over to corner. Rod's still going to be coaching up the safeties a little. And he's going to be in the corner's ears. And I think things are going to be a lot better. Steven, it was mentioned. I'm not going to lie. It was mentioned as a middle name. Let's make his middle name Raider. My wife's like, oh. She thought about it for a second, though. I ain't gonna lie. I saw her think about it for a second. But, nah, it didn't make it. I tried, though. I ain't gonna lie. Also, yeah, I'll try another thing, too, Raider related, too, but they got shot down as well. So, hey! I'm glad you joined me. If you joined me tonight, it's your first time you ever joined the commish, man, come back tomorrow. Like I said, we are going to get deep into the offense tomorrow. We are going to break down our total offense, plus any of the juicy Raider nuggets that come up from between now and then in the next 23 hours. We will break that down too. But we are going to get heavy into offense tomorrow. Then on Thursday, we're going to get heavy into defense. We're going to dig through it all. So, J-Chuck, bring all your nuggets for the offense tomorrow. Bring any little nuggets you got for the defense on Thursday. Everybody else, let's turn in, man. Let's talk some Raiders offense tomorrow because our offense is going to light it up this season. You know this. We are going to light it up. Derek Carr is going to become number 2 in the record books for touchdowns through 4 seasons. And he's going to win the MVP. He's going to win the MVP. Better believe it. So now, got to throw it over to the West Coast for the second half of Coast to Coast. Toss it deep to the West Coast, to the infamous Raider Bear, who's going to take you from here. A whole nother solid hour of Raider flavor and insight, like only Raider Bear can give you. Thank you for joining me, Bobby. If it's anybody else's first time, thank you for joining me. Thank you, Daniel. I always try to bring the fire. Always try to bring the fire. I appreciate you watching me. I'm the commish. This is Raider Reaction. You can catch all of my archived episodes on my YouTube page, Hardcore Challenge Live Studio Webcasts. They're all archived there. All on-location shows. They're all archived there on my YouTube page. Go subscribe it up. I archive all of the ones that are on here the next day on there. So, you want to check them out, share them up, share them up. Please, join me again tomorrow. Let's break down some offense. Thanks for joining me. Peace. Love. Raider Nation.